Tim Guareno, KO Artist Sports. We're here with the beautiful Claudia Trejo. Good to see you. First and foremost, congratulations. Forbes, what is it, top 50 most influential people in boxing? Did they approach you about it? Did you just kind of find out when the article came out? Like, how did that happen?
I got an email, and it was pretty much like, would you like to make some statements about Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora? And I said, of course, they're great colleagues. And they go, but you're also included in the Forbes 50 most influential people in boxing. It was one of those pinch me moments. And literally, like, hang tight, let me, it was via text. And then he says, just send me your quotes, and can I get a couple of questions and answers? And I said, sure. And then not long after that, here comes here's the article, it's live. And it was like, wow.
How cool. How cool is that? It's one of those kind of like one of those pinch me moments. I feel like that we're all we're all working, we're in the grind, we're in the fight of it, and then to get the recognition from some place like Forbes must feel like validating,
Yes, it's validating, it's enriching, it's empowering, it's also through all that humbling, because when you're in the list with people of the caliber of Jimmy, of Steve Farhood, Canelo, Eddie Hearn, Meridian. I mean, we're talking people that have paid their dues. They've been in the grind. And then I know that I've been there too. But I'm on the reporting side, as I've seen them go through the ranks and go through the growth. And you very seldom get a chance to see your own growth. So it was a wow, yes, I've grown with them too. So it's not validation outside, it's validation inside, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. I 100% understand that. It's kind of similar in being in situations like this. This is the biggest fight that there is, right? And we're here, we're covering, we're talking to these guys. We just kind of left Canelo right now, right, in Radio Row. Looking at this fight, few fighters have done what Charlo is attempting to do. There's the top ones that I could think of. Roberto Duran did it, right? Moved up 2 divisions, fought the guy in Sugar Ray Leonard. Bernard Hopkins did the same, moved up from 160 to 175 to fight, the guy in Antonio Tarver. Just what does it mean legacy-wise, historical for him if he were to get a victory over Canelo?
Let's just backtrack a little bit, because the event itself is history-making. I mean, since the era of the 4 belts is the first time we have undisputed facing undisputed. So that on its own, a lot of people think, well, back in 1974, Carlos Morzón, he fought but there were only 2 titles. We have all 4 in 2 separate divisions. And I think Charlo, the question is, why has he fought at 154 this long? Because he is obviously a powerful fighter, slick fighter, very agile. And I always saw him as a very big 154. So I think if we were excited to see him fight at 154, imagine now that he doesn't have to fight to make weight. So we should be able to see something even bigger, better, stronger, faster at 168. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I saw him eating the steak and lobster. It was like, oh, he's happy he's not making weight, for sure. I want to get to just other boxing stuff, right? Earl Spence, we all saw what happened versus Terrence Crawford. I didn't go the way we all thought it would. I mean, I think people thought it was a 50-50 fight, maybe a close fight, whatever, but maybe you thought Terrence was going to win. You maybe didn't think it was going to happen the way it did, right? Now kind of fast forward, looking at the rematch, Spence wants it. He enacted the rematch clause. Obviously, he would like it 154 pounds. It sounds like it's up to Crawford where it's at. He's choosing 47. Let's say, best case scenario for Spence, it is at 154 pounds. Does the fight look different?
I don't know. I want to see what else can Errol Spence bring to the table. I mean, we're expecting a lot from a young man that has had life-changing experiences. We're expecting a lot from a young man who had to fight for his life. So it's almost unfair to think that this is going to make or break somebody like Errol Spence. I have to respect his grit. I have to respect his fighting spirit. And the fact that he's willing to enact the rematch clause tells me the intangibles are there, and that he saw there was something lacking, and perhaps he's going to bring something different to the table. But it's hard to know what else he's going to bring to the table, because we're still stuck with that guy that broke every single record, who was the boogeyman at 147. We're still there. So much has happened in less than almost 3 years now. A lot. But it's unfair of us as fans to not give him a chance.
It's only one loss, right? I mean, there were guys like Stephen A. kind of writing him off, saying he should have retired.
I remember back in the day when people like Mike Tyson lost. Whoever thought he was going to lose against Buster Douglas, for God's sakes? Tito Trinidad, when did we think he was going to lose? And the list goes on. I mean, why are we so enamored with that in defeats? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you need to work on. You don't know the tweaks and the adjustments you need to do to move forward. And I'm going to go back talking about Canelo. We all thought he was too young facing somebody like Floyd Mayweather. And then everybody criticized Canelo for taking that fight. And in reality, he became a much better fighter after fighting Floyd Mayweather. And let's talk about Floyd. When he fought Jose Luis Castillo the first time, there was a very particular Floyd. After that fight, remember, there came the rematch, and he took Jose Luis Castillo by the hand. So why are we so enamored? And let's not forget, I consider Floyd lost that first fight against Jose Luis Castillo. Yeah, in my book, he lost it, but then it's just my book. Who cares? It's just my book. In his record, he's flawless. But he became that much better of a fighter. You need to dig deep, find other tools in order to adjust. You don't know your lacks, your shortcomings, until somebody exposes you. Errol had been the boogeyman. Let's not forget what he did to somebody like Yordenis Ugas, not even a year before. He took him to school. What did Yordenis Ugas do to somebody like Manny Pacquiao? You know, there's layers upon layers, and within the layers, we can break it up apart. So why are we just saying he has nothing to offer? There's nothing he can do. We don't know that. We do not know that. And let's be fair, Bud Crawford is an extraordinary fighter. We've seen things coming out of that young man, and he's never gotten the credit. So when are we going to be fair? When? I'm calling upon the fans to walk away from the superhero putting people in pedestals. Let's really recognize what these young men and women are bringing to the table.
I think part of it's kind of the Floyd Mayweather effect, because he did end his career perfect, right? It was, he was undefeated. So I think the newer generation of boxing fans sees that and don't realize how spoiled they were, in the sense that Floyd is a generational talent, possibly top 10 of all time ever, right?
Well, just because we were following a Rocky Marciano record, that doesn't really, it's just a record. But let's not forget Julio Cesar Chavez went 89-0. Right. So if he would have ended his career right there, he would have had the record. Right. But he chose not to. So it's, and I'm not taking anything away from what Floyd did at all. Extraordinary fighter, outstanding talent. But what does an O really tell you about the person's career, grit, skills, tool set? Nothing. Nothing.
Just like the Phoenix, sometimes you have to rise from the ashes, and then you're better off. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to see what Earl does and how he does improve right from this moment in his career. Looking at the Crawford side, he's talking a lot about the winner of this fight, specifically Canelo. Obviously, that's 21 pounds above where he fights currently. In most cases, I think most of us would be like, oh, 147-pounder fighting a 68-pounder. It's pretty clear-cut who's going to come out in the better end of that. Not in this fight. Not in Crawford versus Canelo, right? It's special. It's still special because Crawford is so special.
Crawford is a crafty fighter. I don't think weight, height, reach really, I'm not going to say challenges him, but would put him in a position that he wouldn't know how to make adjustments. And I can say the same thing about Canelo. I mean, he's fought fighters from Kovalev down, from 147 up to 175. These are very special people that have surrounded themselves with people that are willing to enrich their skills and their fight plan, that can adjust to anything thrown at them. And I remember back in the day, I know I'm gonna date myself. Now we have the day before weigh-ins. Back in the day, when we were true to our personal weight, weigh-ins were day of. And we could argue, for or against that regulation, because it actually forced the fighter to stay in their own weight and fight in their own weight divisions. And we didn't have those 20-pound gains like the Gottis of the world. May he rest in peace. But I was there when guys literally would just eat right before they stepped on the scale, and they would fight at 147 because that was their walk-around weight. And I was also there when somebody like Gotti actually took the scale to 126, and the next day he was 150-something pounds. Completely different weight divisions. We could actually say that's unfair in of its own. So when you have fighters of that quality, they've seen it all. They've seen it all. They've faced it all. They will not be caught off guard or with their pants down that easily. And those are fighters hard to come by. They make history, like you said. They're making their own, writing their own chapters in the history books.
Man, it'd be incredible if we were to get to see a Crawford Canelo. Obviously, depending on what happens this weekend, because it's still a big question mark. Undisputed versus undisputed, like you said. Just lastly, Canelo's on a 3-fight deal with PBC. This is the first one. We're all hoping one of the next two is, obviously with the victory, is David Benavidez. Is that still a risk if you're Canelo that you want to take? I mean, you don't have to, right? But do you still? Is that maybe telling of how much Canelo really wants to challenge himself if he were to take the fight or not?
I'm gonna answer, which is completely disrespectful, and please forgive me. Do you think he really needs another challenge? Do you think he needs to prove anything? But with that being said, Canelo is a man of challenges. Canelo is a man that has done the improbable. Not the impossible, the improbable. Everything in his book has been, why are you going to face that guy? He's tall. And because he's taken those chances, he's gotten criticism. When he doesn't take the chances, he gets criticism. And at this point in time in his career, I don't think he really cares what people think. I think he's just willing to push himself a little further. My point, not as a trainer, not as a manager, simply looking at the business of boxing. If I was the fighter looking at the risk after everything that I've done, a loss is a loss is a loss. Does it really take away from Canelo's legacy? No. The question is, does he really want to wake up in the morning to work that hard to take that challenge? Only he would say it. I have the gut feeling that he would say yes. Now let's say money. Is the money there? At the end of the game, nobody walks into that ring for chump change. Why would they? They're risking life and limb. So if the money's there and the time is right, my gut says Canelo will take it.
We see it. You think we see it?
One thing that Canelo said to me is that he really enjoyed negotiating with Al Heyman. He really enjoyed coming back to what was his house one time, which was Showtime. For him, this is very familiar. And if Benavidez is part of the family, why not?
Hopefully, it'd be great to see. Claudia, it's always great talking boxing with you. Thank you so much.
So we go way back, Riyadh. We were lost.
Oh, that's right, Saudi. Yes. That's right, Saudi. Yes. That was good stuff. Saudi was good food there.
Yes.
Good food there.
Breakfast.
Hella good.
Yes.
Claudia, tell the fans where they can follow you and just what you're up to.
You can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. It's simple. Claudia Trejo's TikTok is Claudia Trejo's 333. Why 33? I don't know, but it is what it is. But just join us. I'm going to be covering the fight for Telemundo and doing a lot of social media for Showtime. But I'm just right here doing what I do best and what I love best. So I'm a blessed person. I'm even more blessed because I get a chance to bring this to you. And with just a sidebar, one of the guys that we have not spoken a lot about is Jordanis Urgas, and this fight means a lot to him because he's bringing attention to the situation in Cuba. There's a lot of political prisoners, and I want you guys to check out his walkout song. It's a song by Yatuel called Patria y Vida, and he wants to drive that message. And I love the fact that we still have young men and women that take the opportunity to use these platforms to bring awareness to our social situation. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Even the shirt he wore has the shirt of all the political prisoners.
Yes.
I asked him about it at the LA press conference, the same shirt, and it's crazy to think that stuff's still happening in the world today. But and so close to home, right? Cuba's 50 miles away from Miami, so it's
a hop, skip, and a jump. Literally. Yeah. So.
Yeah, good shout out with the Ugas thing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Claudia, for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Great seeing you.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
guys.
Thank you.